Okay, it is now Tuesday. I forgot what day we had. No, it's Tuesday now. I'm pretty sure, at least. Yeah, I'm having a little bit of trouble with the changing between like summertime and wintertime. It is making me incredibly sleepy and I'm not sleeping well, so that is a bad combination. So I didn't check in with you yesterday. I just focused on reading as much as I could, to be honest. And yeah, I think that was the right way to go. To like give my body a little bit of time to adjust. And I have a lot of caffeine in me now to like, be upright and talking. But yeah, that is kind of where I'm at right now. I hate when we switch between times. I think it's so unnecessary and it really fucks with my sleeping rhythm. And I don't enjoy that, to be honest. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. But yeah, I made some progress. I stopped right before the conflict of our main villain in this book and our hero. Just so that it was a pretty sensible point to stop for today, and so I can like read the ending of the series tomorrow. I have 120 pages left. They had a lot of adventure in this book. I really like that. I like the fact that we had like more like a tangible quest in this book, a little bit more, because a lot of the story is like going from one place to another and adventuring, but it all is like pretty like sweeping adventure. It is often like longer quests and longer adventures, and I felt like here towards the end we had a little bit of more condensed adventure, which I think is really fitting because obviously we are now going like focusing in on where we are where we need to go or where we needed to go. Like I'm at the point where we are at the place that is no more, which is a funny name for a place they needed to find. But yeah, they had to go and search for some maps, and they had to find them quicker than the villain because both parties didn't know where they needed to go, which is kind of a funny thing because the whole series being dependent on prophecies, and these prophecies being really, really vague, so nobody has an advantage over the other one. It is really interesting because our villain didn't know where the end of the prophecy would play out, and neither did our hero. So they kind of were in like a parallel race to find out where they are supposed to be able to defeat the other one, which I think is kind of a really cool concept. I don't think I have really had that in a fantasy series so far, so I think it's a really cool thing. So yeah, that is pretty much what happened. Both of our parties, the bad ones and the good ones, are now at the place where the end fight will happen, I'm pretty sure. So that is what I will read tomorrow because I kind of want to, read that in one sitting tomorrow once I'm finished with work so I can really enjoy the ending of the series. I am so excited and so sad that it's over. Yeah, it's just really cool. We had a lot of fighting in here as well still. But yeah, I'm so excited and so sad at the same time. It's like, a lot of feelings that this series has brought me. And yeah, I'm gonna be sad this series is over. I do have a lot more of David Anning's books to read, so it's not sad in that, way. But this will be the last that we will read of our main heroes in the series. So yeah, I'm gonna be sad to see them go, to be honest. But yeah, I'm really excited for the ending of the book. So that is what I will read tomorrow. I will now go back and play Elden Ring. I am getting towards the end of the game, but like I have still a lot to do, especially since I do want to try and get all of the achievements, which will take me forever because you do need to play through the game a couple of times to get the different endings, and it's not getting easier each playthrough. There aren't any really differences in how hard the game is, the more you play through it. So yeah, but I am really enjoying that as well. So, I'm switching between enjoying this one and enjoying the game, which is like a fantastic problem to have, like having a book and a game that I'm enjoying so much that I don't really want to put it down. So I'm kind of, trying to put my time 50-50. And then I also did start a new knitting project that I showed you in the clips before this, which I had to unravel twice now already, which was a little bit annoying. But yeah, because of that, I haven't made any progress. But I am really in the mood for knitting right now, so I will also do a little bit more of that today. I don't know why, but like I'm really somebody who switches between hobbies. Like I like when I sit around and I'm thinking like, oh, do I want to do, and like it just comes to my head, I really want to knit, and so I will do a lot of knitting this week probably, and then I will go back to another hobby, which I think is kind of a good way to do it. But yeah. Also, towards the end of this week, I will finally start the rearranging of the bookshelves. I finally have enough space on my TBR shelf that I can put all of the TBR books on one of these bookshelves, and then this one will turn into my favorites bookshelf because I film in front of that. So I think it's kind of nice to have all of my like favorite books in the background of my videos. So that is something I will start doing towards the end of this week, which will be really, really nice. So yeah, that is an update. I'm so excited. I have. I'm so happy at the moment with the reading and with the gaming and like with my hobbies, and that is really good because I can't look at the news. The state the world is in right now is horrible, and I need to distract myself with a lot of hobbies and stuff like that, and it is working, thankfully. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow. Okay, I finished the end of the Mandalorian series and I loved it. It was a brilliant end. It is a happy end. I personally do prefer a happy end to a fantasy series, so I am really happy with it. I also like the concept, and it is definitely a final ending, which is kind of sad because, there isn't any more in the story and we won't get the characters again, but I do love them, I have to say it. Without really spoiling it, it is pretty much a cycle of prophecies, the whole series, and things keep happening again. I think I talked about that in the beginning of reading the second series, that like we had like really a lot of similarities to the first book, but like slightly different, and the ending references that, and I really like it. We have a few more children in the end. And stuff like that. Like everybody, well, not everybody, there were some death, but like most of the people got to go home, and like the whole world shifted into a more positive direction, which was the goal of our group. So they did get to their goal, and yeah, I loved the ending. It wasn't as sad as I thought it might be. It was more of like an upbeat ending, but I think it fits the overall type of story this is, because throughout of the story and the fighting and everything, I feel like David Eddings writes pretty positive fantasy. Like there's always this like slightly positive undertone to the fantasy, and you definitely get that with the ending as well. But yeah, I'm so sad it's over. I could go back and read the whole thing again. I have to be totally honest. I'm so much in the mood to pick the first one up again, which is a bad idea. I have a lot of other books I need to read, and I do have the Black Aerith, the Sorcerer books, so the pre-story to the two series. So yeah, which I won't pick up directly after this. I will pick up a different book tomorrow, just because it's such a big book. I need a little bit, something shorter in the meantime, and then I can go back to David Eddings and his fantasy. But yeah, absolutely loved it. 5 stars, great book, great ending. I really liked it. I get why maybe some people wouldn't like it because it's such a like upbeat positive ending, and I do get that some people prefer a more realistic ending, or like maybe a little bit of a of a darker ending, but I personally love a good ending and a positive ending, and that is what I got. I love it so much. But yeah, I did finish it, and yeah, it was great. I am so happy. You really, if you haven't read a David Eddings fantasy yet, you really have to go and start with the Garrett series and make your way through them. Like, they are brilliant fantasy books, I have to say that. Like, they are becoming fast favorites, I have to say. Other than that, I'm now playing some Elden Ring because, I finished my reading. I'm gonna go ahead and dive into Elden Ring. And then I did want to show you what I did knitting-wise, because I did get a little bit of knitting done. I am now a little bit faster than when I had to undo this the last time. It is a little bit bad to see because of the lighting, but that is how the front of the vest is looking. So it's pretty much, like going there. And it is this pretty, like, this has a lot of, like, I feel like they look like teardrops, but yeah, it's a really nice pattern. I really like it. I think it's called lace pattern, but I feel like it's not looking really lacy, but like, it looks nice. It's a cotton yarn, so it feels really nice as well. And I have a lot of this dark purple color left over, so I chose the color because I had a lot of it, but yeah, I'm enjoying this, and I am looking forward to continuing with that one later today as well, to get a little bit more of that in. So yeah, I'm having a good day. Hobby-wise, work was a little bit annoying, but that happens. It's just, when you have a problem, like I had to solve a problem and I haven't solved it yet, and it's a little bit annoying, but it's just how work is. If you work in programming, you might know the problem. But yeah, that is the update for today. We'll see I have 2 books that I'm thinking about picking up, so we'll see what I decide tomorrow. But I will pick up one of the 2. And yeah, I'm now gonna be sad about having read through the second David Eddings series, because it does make me sad that it's over. Okay, it is now Wednesday, and I finished a book, which, if I had known that I would fly through this, I would have checked in with you at some point. I didn't think I would read it in one sitting, to be honest, but I needed to get through it. I'm not impressed by the book, which, I thought I wouldn't. It was a good chance that I wasn't, but yeah, this is Sea Trial by Frank de Felitta, and this is survival horror in the most boring way you could do this. I mean, I might be a little bit unfair to the book, but the characters aren't interesting, they're annoying. We have our couple, Phil and Tracy, which both are cheating on their respective partners and with each other. And they booked a 2-week honeymoon cruise on like this really small boat. It's like a yacht called the Penny Dreadful. Which, yeah, they go on the boat, and like the hosts, just the captain and his wife, they start needling them straight from the beginning. But then the first like half of the book is just talking, having sex, and drinking alcohol and stuff like that. So it's a really, really, really boring beginning. And then the yacht starts breaking down, and they have to ration food, and it's going into survival horror then. But by then you lost all interest. The characters aren't interesting, they are annoying, I don't like them, I wasn't sympathetic to the characters because of, they're cheating, going on a cruise like that, and then especially Tracy starts like fearing that the captain knows that they are in an affair and not a married couple and stuff like that. I found it boring and annoying and not particularly great. I mean, there's horror later on, but I feel like by then I kind of lost interest in the book, and I just wanted to get through. It is a quick read, it isn't like a long book. It could have been way shorter even. I think this would have made sense kind of in like a short story collection, and then cut the first half of the book. Then you would have like condensed survival horror, which maybe would have been a lot more interesting, because it is like a lot of psychological horror. So if you only read the second half of the book would have been a lot better. But since the first half of the book is in the book, I'm giving it 2 stars. I didn't particularly enjoy it, and I just wanted to get through it at some point, because it felt never ending, even though it read pretty quickly, just because it was pretty boring, and if I get like a survival horror book, I want the survival horror to start pretty early and then ebb and flow in intensity. That is what I personally prefer for survival horror, and this is definitely not it. And then I'm personally not really interested in boats and stuff, so that for me makes a story also not particularly interesting. It's just a topic I particularly don't care for. So yeah, that obviously makes a difference, But yeah, I wouldn't particularly recommend it if you don't mind a boring beginning and you are fine with the horror more starting at like the halfway point or later even, and then going from there, but having like more like psychologically heavy survival horror, then maybe the book might be for you. Just for me, it wasn't it. So yeah, I don't know, but I finished it. Really unexpectedly, I finished the whole book today, which is kind of nice, because it means I can go on to the next book, which I already know what I want to read next, but I will tell you tomorrow once, we're gonna actually pick the book up, because tonight I won't read anything else. We're getting groceries delivered today. I have a Skype date with my friend, which we haven't Skyped, I think, in like a month and a half now because of like problems with scheduling. So that is, definitely needed. So I will do that. I will now play some Elden Ring because I'm still in there. I'm nearly at the end of the story, and then I do need to buy the DLC, which I thought, I would take a long time to get through the game, so I didn't buy it directly. But yeah, now I'm at the point where I need to buy it. And I did also make some progress knitting, which, well, let's be careful. I'm now quite a way more through the front. There's still a lot to go, but yeah, I'm making progress. I like how it's looking. It looks really like, if I look into the camera, it looks really holy. You have a lot of holes in here, and it looks a lot more lacy than when I look at it, not through the camera. So yeah, it obviously lets a lot more light through if I have, if I hold it this way. But yeah, so far I'm liking it. I have no idea if it will fit in the end. I'm not much on trying to hit the gauge and stuff like that, which, I'm probably gonna regret, but learning by doing, and, all of that. Okay, we're doing just a short update today because I am full on in in Elden Ring. I am so near the end. I'm so proud of myself. But yeah, that means I'm doing pretty little else other than gaming today. I did start A Marvelous Light, because I did want to read at least a little bit, but I only read the first 25 pages, which I think is like the first 3 chapters. But yeah, it reminded me just the beginning why I liked the book, because the characters are so interesting, because both of our guys have like a lot of trouble fitting into society, or like into the expectation that society has of them, and what they are supposed to be like, what they are supposed to be able to do, and stuff like that. And it makes them really likable characters. And so yeah, I really like them. They're cool dudes, and I don't know, you're rooting for them, straight from the beginning. And I do know what happens, but I did forget a lot of the details, which I tend to do with books. To be honest, I don't have the greatest memory, so it's always an interesting reread. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I will continue tomorrow morning with this, because I will now get back to playing Elden Ring, and I will see if I can get through the ending. And yeah, I am pretty far. I already have 70% of the achievements. It is so much fun. But yeah, I already did like 10 tries of the end boss, and I have a little bit to train for that, but I did pretty good. So I'm excited to play more Elden Ring, and I will see you tomorrow, and we'll see how far I can read tomorrow morning. Probably like at least to like halfway through, because this is a pretty quick read. It has like a really nice flow when it comes to like how it is written and the story, so it does read pretty quickly. So yeah, we will see. But yeah, I'm excited to go back to gaming now. So let's do a quick update on A Marvelous Light. I have to say, I don't know why it isn't like that with other books, but I feel like in that one, I love the magic story, but I feel like the characters harmonize so nicely together that for I don't need the magic actually. I think it's a nice touch. I really enjoy it, but I feel like the characters harmonize so well that it's actually a lovely story without needing something else in the story, which I think is kind of funny because that is what I mostly dislike about romance novels, that there's nothing else than the romance. But I just feel like our main characters harmonize so well in the story. I just watched the scene where they are in Edwin's um, home, like where his parents live, and they get attacked by the maze. And it's such a nice interaction, even though it is like a really, really stressful interaction for the characters. But like it feels so nice. I don't know why I feel so different with this book than any other romance I've ever read, really. That isn't smart. We're gonna not talk about smart because I feel different about that. But like about romance books, I feel like that's always my problem. But I don't have the problem with A Marvelous Light, and I can't really pinpoint why, other than that I feel like the main characters harmonize incredibly well together. So yeah, I don't really know how to describe it other than that I really, really enjoyed the story. And the adventure our main characters have to go on to solve the riddle and what happened. And so yeah, I'm enjoying it so much. I do plan on actually finishing this vlog tomorrow so I can give you like my end reaction of this, because I have forgotten quite a lot of the second half. I've realized, like, I know up to the point where I've been now, I did actually remember quite a lot, but I feel like I have no idea what happened after. So I am halfway through the book now, so hopefully I can finish it tomorrow morning, and then I can give you an ending to the book in the vlog still, and I don't have to do that at the beginning of next week's vlog, which I always dislike if I have like a little bit of a book left, and then in the next vlog you get like a complete description of the book again, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. So yeah, I will go out with the dog now. He is being dramatic. He wants to be outside, so we're going outside to the dog park and going to go play with some other dogs. And yeah, other than that, I will play a lot more Elden Ring today. I'm so nearly finished with the game, and I enjoyed it so much. So that is the plan for today. It is like a nice day, not a warm day, but a nice day. I did also already filmed Thursday's video, which is really nice, so I can edit that tomorrow as well as this vlog. But yeah, I will see you tomorrow, and we'll see how the book ended. Because I do know it's a positive ending, but I don't know what happened between the point where I'm at right now to the ending. I just kind of can't remember, which is a little bit annoying, but that's what the reread is for. Good morning. It is now Sunday morning. I just started editing this vlog and then I remembered that I still needed to finish the vlog. I finished A Marvelous Light, and I have to say I really like it. I did forget some things about the story, which, is kind of nice now rereading it to had a little bit of a surprise, because I just didn't remember what happened. But obviously that is not the normal way it is, obviously, with like rereading and stuff. I forgot how much our main character's sister is in this one, which makes sense because she's the main character of the next one. I just didn't remember her being so much in this one, especially at the end. I think what stands out for me most, it's not the most brilliant story, but I think the way the characters interact is like a really, really big point in this book, and it's, I think, what I enjoy so much about this, even though I normally don't enjoy romances that much. I think it stands out how our main characters get to know each other and to appreciate each other and to understand their different viewpoints, where they're coming from, all interacting like with the surroundings, the families, society, all of that. And then the component of like our main character Robin not knowing that magic exists, and then obviously him learning the magical stuff of the world. So that was really, really good. I really, really like that. I also like the way it is an urban fantasy. I think I would type it as an urban fantasy. I don't know the direct um, definitions, but for me, this would fall under an urban fantasy romance. And I really like the way we get told about the magic, because obviously Robin, our main character, doesn't know that magic exists in the beginning, and he's not dumb, but he's also not the most intelligent person. So we get like really not dumbed down explanation of magic, but we get like really practical explanations of magic. And Robin like has a lot of questions that he asks to understand magic and stuff like that. And through him, we get explained how the magic works and stuff like that. I really enjoyed that. I think that is always a good way to explain magic to someone. I think it is pretty similar, like not that the books are in any way similar, but that is something I personally enjoyed with the Mistborn series, because I felt like the magic in Mistborn was also told through Vin learning how everything works and fitting more into the world of the Mistborns and the magic. I feel like this book is in that aspect really similar, how the magic is explained, and I really enjoyed that. So yeah, I need to look up what I gave this book. If I gave it a 4 or 5 stars, I will give it the same rating I gave it the first time, either if it is a 4 or a 5 stars. I'm pretty like 50-50 on that for this one, to be honest. I think it could either be like a 4.5 or 5 stars. So yeah, that is what I will give this one. I'm pretty tired today. I had like, you ever know when you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like pretty much half asleep still? I don't know why, but I like woke up like dang in the middle of the night, and I looked at my dog and I couldn't see him breathing. He's fine. But I was panicked, and I tried to wake him up and he wouldn't wake up. Like, he didn't give any sign of life from him. And so I was really panicking tonight. And I don't know why. I did not remember that, I could hold my hand in front of his face and I would feel him breathing, but my half asleep brain didn't remember that. And I was nearly like at the point where I wanted to wake up my husband, and then my dog let out like the tiniest sigh, and I was like, oh my god, he's still alive. Like, his body was so still. He was breathing, but you couldn't see him breathing. And yeah, that obviously after that I didn't sleep very well. I was awake like every 15 minutes to check on my dog that he was still breathing, even though, he's a healthy 6-year-old dog. He's totally fine. I don't know why that happened tonight. Maybe I dreamed something. I can't remember. But yeah, because of that, I slept very little after that, and I'm really, really tired. So yeah, I will end the vlog with that. Also, just a little bit of a knitting update. I knit quite a bit more. It isn't perfect. There is an error in there that I made pretty early on. I don't know if we can tell it. I can tell it, but yeah. There's an error in there that I kind of shifted everything to the side a little bit, so it isn't perfect. If it bothers me too much, I will redo it, but at the moment I am not too bothered. Yeah, I'm now at the top part, so I think I need like 5 more centimeters, so it isn't that much more until the front is finished. And yeah, I did a lot of that. I'm really happy with that. And yeah, I will now go finish editing this video, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this week's reading vlog, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Yeah, thank you for being here, and bye bye.